folks, thanks for joining me today. Let me know if you can hear me. I apologize, I had to change my time 2 times today. I had a lengthy meeting, longer than I thought it would be, but it was all good news. You'll hear about it soon. But so what we're talking about this week is mortgage rates are getting hit by every area that we can look at. Even Chairman Powell's not going to step down. You realize Federal Chairman Powell, he's going from the head of the Federal Reserve to he's staying on as one of the board members. This has only happened 2 other times in history. So this is kind of what threw a monkey wrench into things this week. But if you're watching this video, let's get over to where these things are going to go. So here's what I want to introduce you guys to. If you're new to the channel, we have this that I just created. The link is down below. So check it out. What it gives you each day is it's going to go across the top through here. Here's some cool features that you can see across the top. You can change the colors. Okay, you can do those things. Here's another feature right there. It's behind my head, compare rates. It'll actually break down each one of these kind of side by side. That's probably an easier way to look at it. So right through here, you can see the top products or programs out there, conventional rates. So this is going to tell you, like today, mortgage rates were down 0.01. That's fantastic. Gives you all the assumptions behind it. Going down through here, it's going to give you the primary drivers, like what the MBS market's doing. The chart that we always start with the chart. We're going to get there in a second. With the MBS, or what the 10-year Treasury is doing, economic news for the day. It's all here on this. Down through here, what's going to happen or what's happening with rates for the day. All the indices that we go over, we're going to go over these in a second. Then the economic news, what the Federal Reserve is looking to do, and all the stuff, even down to Kalshi, what it's predicting on the next Fed, what the Fed's going to do next time. But each day we come in and let's start with the chart. So let's conclude this week. So we have a 5-day week. Right now we have the MBS is down 7. All you need to know is that number up through there. If it's red, that's not good news. But as long as it's not 10 or more, rates aren't really going to move. So we'll probably see mortgage rates. Well, let's go back to this, see if they move for it today. Down through here, yep, the mortgage rates dropped 0.01. So check that out. It's a little bit hard to read right there. So right through there, you can see that. It's 644 right now. Okay, so let's get over to it. It's down now down 8. But let's look at the week because we want to see what happened this week. I'm going to show you when the Federal Reserve came out, what actually happened that day. And it's been kind of good sailing from then. So here's the charts that we watch. Again, all you have to understand is that number up through there. If it's red, it's bad news. When you see these things right through here, these are what we call gaps. Usually the gaps fill, good or bad. So this one, like this day, it dropped. Remember, when this goes down, mortgage rates are going to go up. And then it kind of steadied out. It didn't get back to neutral, but then it dropped again. Right through here, this is when the Federal Reserve came out and actually said they weren't doing anything with rates, right here. And then, shoo, it was down. Remember, when this goes down, that's bad news. This is a pretty far drop. Well, the markets are starting to climb off of that. And you can see some major moves through here. This is when we get tweets, when we get some information out there that we just weren't prepared for. So you got to prepare yourself. And if you're a realtor or loan officer watching me right now, these are the things we need to monitor. Okay, so let's get over what happened this week. Well, the biggest news was Federal Chairman Powell isn't stepping down. He won't be the head of the Fed, but he will still be a member. Okay, so I'm not quite sure if he's a voting member or not. But here's the data that the Federal Reserve looks at, and here's where it is right now. Remember, the Fed was created for 2 reasons. One was to keep basically prices in check. That's inflation. They monitor what we call the PCE, which you're seeing on the screen right now. The other thing was to keep jobs at full employment. Well, anything under 5 is full employment. So if you look at the unemployment rate of 4.3, it's been there for years. Okay, it didn't really spike when the Fed thought it would. So that's great news. But the PC, the inflation number, they want that at 2. It's at 3.5. And this is the March number. Oil was at maybe $90 a barrel. It wasn't at $120 a barrel like we saw in April. So the inflation number on the PCE, could it hit 4, twice as much as the Fed wants? So what's the Fed going to do based on this information? Even if Warsh comes in, and you guys are welcome to debate me on this, even if Federal Reserve, new chairman that's going to be voted in here soon, even if he comes in and yes, he's a Trump appointee, he's not going to cut rates. And I'd love to, debate you on that one if you're interested in that. But let's go over to here. Here's the news that we got this week. Okay, so we're looking at the inflation numbers, jobs, and all those other things. So let's kind of take a peek at what happened this week. Consumer confidence came in 92. Don't know how people are real this confident, but triggers in the 90s. This is fantastic. We haven't seen these in a long time. Then you go down through here, and the Federal Reserve came out, and this is what this says, Federal Reserve decision. Federal Reserve came out, and the last reading was 375, where they had rates, and they just kept it there. Okay, so they're monitoring inflation. Okay, so here's what we got the following day. Core inflation, well, the PCE was here as well, but look at this number. When you look at core inflation, this strips out food and energy. The inflation number was previously 0.4, okay? That was, think about that, that was April or January, February, okay, when oil prices were really low. Now, March, when they were starting to tick up, what would you think would happen to this? Well, again, remember, they take out oil. Well, it dropped. So we have inflation when you take out the oil pieces of it, it's looking pretty good. And then you look at the jobs numbers, initial jobless claims. Last time it was 215,000 people got let go. They thought it would stay steady at 213, dropped to 189. And even continued claims is looking good too. Folks, I'm not making up these numbers. You guys are like, okay, these numbers are junk or whatever. No, they're not. This is actually from the federal government. Unless you don't trust them, then there's really no data out there you can really trust. And then today we really got some manufacturing numbers. Here's the shock right there. Here, prices on the manufacturing side, yeah, they're up. But the markets really aren't selling off on this. So because we know prices are going to go up based on oil. All right, let's go over what's going to happen next week. Well, not that much. Okay, but let's go over to it. We have on Tuesday, nothing coming in on Monday. Tuesday is going to give us the JOLT index. Now, you might hear the Federal Reserve chairman talking about JOLT and job numbers. He says job openings is this and labor transfers are these, and you might kind of go over your head. This is the number here. This is JOLT, job openings, labor transfers, and so forth. This 6.8 million previously, that's a pretty good number, and it's staying steady. Nobody's expecting anything other than that. ADP, you guys know how I feel about ADP payroll numbers, but they're saying last week's numbers said that there were 62,000 new jobs created. Well, that's pretty good. Even 50,000 in a month is pretty good. We're going to see how those numbers come in on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. That's also going to show us continued claims, and it's looking pretty good there as well. And then on Friday, we get average hourly earnings. How much people are earning? Are you earning more to keep up with this inflation? I know it's oil, and it's probably going to come down soon, but we still got to pay that money at the pump. So is your average hourly earnings keeping up with it? Well, we're going to check that. And then the unemployment rate's coming out as well. Is it going to tick up or stay steady? So we get a lot of data next week as well. So let's go to the reason why the markets are really moving. We're going to get to the oil prices here in a second, but earnings reports. I don't know how to move my head. If I could, let me see if I can do something. If I lose you guys, I apologize. No, I can't move myself. Oh, right there. I'll switch it here in a second. Look at these numbers. This is today's earnings reports that came out. So, okay, let's go down through here. CVS, earnings per share, up 46%. You go down through here, Exxon, up 13%. This one, 68%. This one, 40%. This is what's happening right now. So this is why I used to do what we call Stock Talk Tuesday to help you guys understand the stock market, because do you realize yesterday I posted a video and I started talking about stocks, and somebody made a comment saying, Dan, you know, this is how dumb you are. You don't really even know what the stock market's doing right now. You know, before all this happened, the market was at 50,000 and now it's what, 38? And I was like, what? So here, let's get to the market for a second. Here's what the markets are rallying off of. The earnings reports are coming in fantastic, but think about it. The earnings reports are this good, and you have tariffs that pushed over. You have energy prices that pushed over because that was a March number. So if oil prices keep coming down and these companies keep making what they're making, profits are only going to get better. So what's going to happen to hold on a second. Let's get over to what's going to happen in the equity markets. Well, if you look at this and you look at earnings reports, I'm saying, well, it's probably going to be nothing but good news. Well, the Dow Jones is giving back a little bit today. I didn't think that was coming. That must have just turned a little bit ago. There was a headline that just crossed the wires here a second ago. But we got the S&P up, NASDAQ up, Russell 2000 up. The VIX, you can't see it behind my head. Let me see if we can get it there. It's at 16. 16. This is a great number. What this is the blood pressure of Wall Street, okay? Usually in the teens, the markets are pretty chilled out. When we saw the Iranian situation start, this was like 32. So at 16, I'm saying the markets they're pretty calm right now. Now let's get over to the risk that the investors are looking to take right now. And how I measure it, I look at crypto. we got crypto up $2,000 a coin right now. So that's saying investors aren't worried about a ton of things out there, especially inflation. That's why they're piling into Bitcoin. Okay, so the markets, that's what we're seeing right now. So here's what my expectations are. The data that's coming in, just watch oil. That's all you need to watch. As oil continues to come down, we're going to see the markets even rallying from here. If we go to the equity markets, look at the Dow Jones. We're 400 points away from getting back to that record high of all time. Oh, the markets must be seeing something, and it looks like they and the Federal Reserve are all looking through this oil situation. And then also other countries, they're kind of doing the same thing. But speaking of gerrymandering, yeah, I threw you a curveball there. I want you guys to understand what we're going to also have today is not just an economics lesson. We're going to have a history lesson. So I want you guys to understand before you go out and vote, before you go out and buy a house, before you go out and buy stocks or Bitcoin or anything else, please make sure you understand all that the mainstream media is providing you. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to understand. If you look up gerrymandering, well, if you look up the headlines today, it looks like the Republicans are just gouging people right now because they're trying to take race out of the equation. Okay, but back in 1965, well, gerrymandering's been around for forever, basically, since they created states and all these other things. And it's been around for a long, long time. But in 1965, there was a ruling that it says right through here, racial gerrymandering, this is illegal under the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So let me just show you kind of this. What is gerrymandering? How does it work? And so let me just give you an example. I live in Illinois. I'm going to show you our electoral map, and you tell me what you think. I'm not going to be unbiased here, but here's what we want to look at. Every 10 years, voting districts are redrawn. Okay, every 10 years. So it's not something that just gets put in place just randomly when somebody wants it to, but that's it. Sometimes those lines reflect population change. Other times they are shaped to protect political power. Illinois is one of the clearest examples of how that works in real life. And I'm going to post this as a blog. And so here's how our districts work here. And you might look at that and say, huh? Okay, so this piece, why was this piece generated for that zone right through there? Well, and then you got this thing here that goes, hold on a second, I want to make sure you guys can see this, okay? So this is our map. This is our voting map. They brought through here, and you can take that area, this section of that section, and move this over through here and up through there, okay? So why do this? It's called gerrymandering. If you want to get even better, look up here in Cook County where basically most of the state, if you look at it, I think I got it here, you can go to this website. I'll try to post it down through here. And this provides you information on every state out there. You can look and see, who votes what and all that stuff, and then how this gerrymandering kind of works in the favor of the political party in power at the time where they draw the map. If you really take a deep dive into gerrymandering, which I did, it's fascinating how you can take, manipulate numbers to take, I think I did a number of like 7 versus 3, and you can still have it go in the favor of the odd number. It was intriguing, but check this out, please. That's all I ask you on that. So that's my history lesson for today. So folks, if you need any help out there, if you're watching my video, you might be a homeowner, looking to buy a house in the future, I'd love to be able to help you out. I'm licensed in all 50 states as well as Puerto Rico. My slogan here is one application, one credit pool. We're going to compare your loan to over 30 different lenders, almost 40 different lenders, to make sure we're shopping your loan with all the lenders in the whole entire country to make sure you're getting the best rate out there. So let's get back to it, and let's go back and end with the chart for the week. So next week's data, I'm going to say most of it is data coming on in the jobs report and earnings. I'm going to say those are going to be solid. There's no really inflationary numbers coming down, so please watch oil. The MBS market right now is pretty much flat. It stayed at that -7. Usually on Fridays, you might have a lot of volatility going into the weekend because think of this, you're a trader and you're going into the weekend, we're a tweet, we're a drone, we're a something away from either great news or absolutely terrible news. So most of the times traders, when they leave for the weekend, they just sell off some positions they might be a little bit uncertain of, and that's usually what you're seeing right through here. So a -7, we'll probably stick at that for the day. really no moves or no damage for the day there for us. You go to the stock market, I think it's probably done for the day, but I'll take a Dow Jones at almost 50,000 with this war at a length of time that it's been in. And then I just think, you guys, please fact check me down below. Did they actually reopen the government last night, I want to say? I think that is it. So I won't hang you guys here. It's a Friday afternoon. It's nice here in Chicago, so I'm going to get out a little bit, but not expecting rates to really move. If you want to check out and monitor these things, go to my website. You can go up through here. We just added the rate monitor right up through there. So if you're trying to say, Dan, how do I find this thing? Just go to therateupdate.com, hit mortgage rates. It's going to take you right there. That's everything you're going to need when it comes to rates, the information, the news for the week, everything you need to do to figure out the heck's going to go on with those and why. So please subscribe down over there. Anybody have any questions for today? So that's what we got. Our home prices, will they ever go down? Oh, you know what's interesting? I had somebody post earlier and say, hey, Dan, maybe you missed all the short sales in my area. Okay, so I'm not here to say house prices are going to go up or down or crash or do whatever, but here's what I want to let you know. If you go out there, let's do it live. It looks like it's just me and you here right now. Let's go to the, I don't know, Zillow home prices. Home prices. And let's see where this takes us. But I want to show you what my area is doing. I actually did a whole bunch of research over through here. And okay, as of March, the average home value in Illinois reflects a 4.8 value. I don't want Illinois. I want the whole country. Well, here's where I live. Let's just go to the rate update. You can go to the blog section. Resources. We're going to go down to blogs. Half this stuff we probably don't even know we have. But right through here, St. Charles, Illinois. This is going to give you data on St. Charles, Illinois. Well, you can do this anywhere you live. But here's what I want to advise you. If home prices throughout the whole country, I don't care where you go, none of them say that the average home price in the whole country is down 20%. Okay, it's going to tell you it's probably up maybe 1%. All right, that's the norm. So you can have areas, and you will have areas that are suffering, that have a bunch of short sales for some reason or another. Okay, and you're going to have them. But then you're going to have other areas to offset that data. But let's get over to where I live, and in the next week or two, I'm actually going to have the mayor of our town join me. We're going to talk about the town, the political things there. Not really going to dive into the politics, but why I live here, why he lives here, why he became the mayor, and just tell you a little bit about our town. But if you go down through here, here it is. St. Charles, Illinois, the average our population is 33,482 people. Household median income is 114,000, and this was prepared on April 30th of 2026. And you go down through here, and it gives you, here's what our home prices have been doing. So it's up as of March of 2026, up 4.9%. You go down through here, here's our historic average over the last 10 years. And down through here, I did a report. You can do all this on AI, folks. So do your due diligence, do your data. If you're a realtor out there, use AI to help you out. If you're a loan officer out there, use this. If you're a consumer out there, here's what I would suggest. Subscribe over there. I take hopefully all the confusion of all this data and providing it to you. If you want to leave some comments down below, let me know what your market area looks like. I'd love to do this data and maybe do a report on it. But here's what home prices have been doing in my market. 2016 is our baseline. 2017, up 4%, up 3%, 2%, 1%. In 2020, up 2021, it's up 9%. 2022, up 14%. No, it didn't go up 50%, 60% like you saw some areas. We just have stability. I love it. Then you go all the way down through here, and it's just stability. You look over here, from the last 10 years, it's up maybe 74%. So this is why people don't move in some of these areas. But it also shows you not all markets are getting killed right now. Okay, so let's get to any other questions what we have here. But you can do these things right on AI, folks. And I'm trying to put together videos to help walk you through just what to look for and how to do all this. Are we expecting the 10-year to move back to 4.2 range next week? If there's no crazy news out there. It should get to 4.2 soon. I don't know if it's going to happen next week. The bad thing is you just don't know what's around the next corner. So we can take assumptions. But what I try to pride myself on is just to tell you, here's the most logical outcome that's going to happen. And I'm going to actually say, I don't know. And the reason being is, again, we're a tweet, a something away. But let's go to the news. Let's take the live news feed and just see if we can find anything here that just might give us some guidance on. Trump says Iran wants to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it. We've been hearing that for forever. So it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there's any major data. So it's oil. It's oil. It's Iran. That's it. And then the earnings reports. If the earnings reports are bad right now, it would just give the markets a little more gasoline on the fire to just say, okay, let's massively sell this stuff like we had the correction that we had. But then from there, I'm like, okay, let's look at corporate profits. And as you're seeing those corporate profits coming in and they're continuing to outpace even what analysts expected, even with all the storm that we had with, oil and energy and all the tariffs and everything else. That's what a lot of people are missing out on. So that's what I love when you guys start asking me some questions. So this is what we have in the markets. So next week, let's take a glimpse of what's happening next week in regards to earnings. It's another full event on earnings. Now let's break this down. Let's see if there's things here on any specific day that would really, drive in what the average consumer is doing. All right, well, let's look over here. We have on Thursday, we have McDonald's. We have D-Dog. Is that, I don't know what that is. Shell Oil. So every day I'm going to come in and tell you exactly what these things are doing, what their earnings reports have done, and so forth. And then we're going to take it from there. So watch oil. Let's see if we have, Logan, you got another question? Would love to answer. Is Warsh to remove Powell from being, I do not think so. No, I don't. He's appointed. So most of I don't know that answer, but here's my assumption. You cannot, just like the president right now is wanting to get rid of the one person. I think her name is Brown, trying to get rid of her, and he doesn't have the authority. I don't know if the person just has the authority to kick him off. I don't think you do. Because then you could just put one person in place and just boot everybody out. So I would almost assure you, but that's a thing that you can do on through AI just to check that out. But I would almost assure you that it could not happen. I wouldn't want it to happen, either political party in, because I don't want my person to go in, then clean house. And then the same thing happened on the other side. So always try to put yourself in the other person's shoes to say, okay, is that good, bad? Getting back to like we were just talking earlier. I don't know if you were with us. Gerrymandering. Do you think it's right or wrong? The law's the law. So let's enforce the laws, and just the chips may fall where they may. But when you start seeing maps like this, and a lot of people don't dig into things like this, when you see maps like this, you have to wonder, why did you carve out this district, and carve out all these into district? And if you go up through here, it's sickening. It's sickening how they go up through here and just pick pods to make sure they can control this. And Illinois, they haven't. Their party hasn't switched since I've lived here for 30 years. So that's it. That's all I got for today. So if you need some help with a mortgage out there, unless you guys got any other questions, mortgage rates, I'm saying, are going to be flat. There's no news next week that really should do anything. So pay attention to oil. Oil is going to be the driver to everything. And that's it. But you can find a lot of stuff on my website. You can find that at therateupdate.com. If you're a homeowner, check out our RateWatch 2.2 tool. You can plug in your mortgage information in there. Let me know what rate you'd like to refinance or how much of a monthly savings you'd like to refinance. We'll track both those for you. If you currently have a loan estimate, upload it right through here. We're going to review that. We'll get a video back to you within 24 hours because it has to be pretty darn quick because otherwise mortgage rates move. And you saw, some days mortgage rates move maybe 1/8 or 1/4% in one day. So I want to make sure we get back to you pronto. And there's a whole bunch of other things up here to help you out. So that's it for today, this week. Check out some of the videos I got coming out this weekend. They're kind of pretty cool. But other than that, folks, have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you back